So welcome, friends. You've caught us between chores. The watering cans are empty, the chickens have settled in for the evening, and there's still a little dirt beneath our fingernails. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Nell. You found us at the Garden Gate, a place where gardeners gather, neighbors swap stories, and no question is too simple to ask. Every week we'll pull a real gardening question from the online gardening community and bring it here to the fence line. Together we'll sort through the advice, separate gardening myths from proven practices, explore the science, rediscover the old ways, and share the practical knowledge that's helped generations of gardeners grow food and confidence.
So pull up a bucket.
Lean on that fence.
The garden is always teaching us something.
Let's see what today's visitor has brought to the Garden Gate.
Welcome back, listeners, to At the Garden Gate. This is our gardening mini-series, spin-off from our Old Ways, New Days regular podcast, where we answer your garden questions, share practical tips, and help you grow with confidence, one season at a time. It will be a solo episode today because Nell has been super busy, still, I guess, moving, because she has to empty out her apartment into her new home with her boyfriend. So she was unable to meet up with me this week, so it's just me, Kayla. So today we're going to talk about how you know when your vegetables are ready to harvest. So if you've ever stood in your garden holding a cucumber in one hand and wondering, should I pick it now or give it another day, you're in good company. Knowing when to harvest is one of the biggest challenges for new gardeners. Pick vegetables too early and they may not have developed their full flavor. Wait too long and they become tough, bitter, woody, or even signal to the plant that it's finished producing. Today we're taking a walk through some of the most common garden vegetables and learning how to recognize the signs that they're ready for the kitchen. So grab your harvest basket and let's head through the garden gate. Harvesting isn't just about getting food off the plant. It's about encouraging the plant to keep producing. Many vegetables are programmed to complete one mission: grow, produce seeds, finish their life cycle. When we harvest regularly, we're interrupting that cycle. The plant often responds by producing more flowers and more vegetables. Think of harvesting as telling your garden, keep going, we're not done yet. One of the best gardening skills you can develop is observation. Spend a few minutes every day simply looking. Notice changes in color, notice how quickly fruits grow, notice when leaves begin changing. The more time you spend watching your garden, the easier harvesting becomes. Tomatoes are one of the easiest vegetables to overthink. Most varieties are ready when they've developed their mature color. That could be red, yellow, orange, purple, or even striped, depending on the variety. A ripe tomato should feel firm, but just a little give when you gently squeezed. A ripe tomato should feel firm, but have just a little give when gently squeezed. If you have trouble with birds or squirrels, you can harvest tomatoes when they're just beginning to change color, often called the breaker stage, and allow them to finish ripening indoors. With cucumbers, bigger is not always better. Many gardeners leave cucumbers on the vine way too long. Large cucumbers often become watery, bitter, and full of oversized seeds. Most slicing cucumbers are sweetest between 6 and 8 inches long. Pickling cucumbers are usually harvested even smaller. Frequent picking encourages the vine to keep producing through the season. Now, nearly every gardener has a story about discovering a zucchini the size of a baseball bat hiding beneath giant leaves. While that's certainly entertaining, they're not usually the tastiest. Most zucchini are best harvested between 6 and 8 inches long. They're tender, flavorful, and the plant will continue producing more. With green beans, they should snap cleanly in half. The pods should feel smooth and firm. If you can clearly see large beans bulging inside the pod, you've probably waited too long. Pick every couple of days during peak production. You'll be amazed how much more the plant produces. Peppers can be harvested at almost any stage. Green bell peppers are simply immature plants. Leave them longer, and many varieties turn red, orange, yellow, or even chocolate brown. As peppers mature, they generally become sweeter and develop more vitamins. Harvest whenever they reach the flavor you enjoy. Lettuce leaf is wonderfully forgiving. Instead of harvesting the whole plant, pick the outer leaves first. Leave the center growing. You'll enjoy harvests for weeks. Head lettuce should feel firm and full. Once the plant begins sending up a flower stalk, a process called bolting, the leaves often become bitter. Now, carrots don't announce when they're ready. You want to gently brush away a little soil around the top. Look at the shoulder of the carrot. If it's close to the size listed on your seed packet, it's probably ready. Remember, smaller carrots are often sweeter. Potatoes have two different harvests. New potatoes are harvested while the plants are still green. They're smaller, tender, and delicious. Storage potatoes are left until the vines nearly die back. At this point, the skins become tougher, allowing them to store much longer. Onions practically tell you when they're finished. Once most of the green tops naturally fall over and begin drying, it's time. Pull them carefully. Lay them somewhere warm, dry, and well ventilated to cure for a couple weeks before long-term storage. Garlic, on the other hand, requires a little detective work. Watch the leaves. When 1/3 to 1/2 of the leaves have turned brown, while several upper leaves remain green, it's usually harvest time. Harvest too early, the bulbs remain small. Too late, and the wrappers begin splitting, reducing storage life. Corn, everyone's summer favorite. Fresh, sweet corn has a surprisingly short harvest window. You want to look for brown, dry silk. Feel the ear. It should be full from top to bottom. Peel back just enough husk to puncture one kernel with your fingernail. If a milky liquid appears, it's ready. If the liquid is clear, wait a little longer. If it is thick and doughy, you've probably waited too long. With pumpkins, patience pays off. Pumpkins are ready when they've reached their mature color and the rind is difficult to dent with your fingernail. The vine often begins dying back naturally. Leave several inches of stem attached when harvesting. It helps extend that storage life. For your winter squashes, such as acorn, butternut, spaghetti, and delicata, like pumpkins, winter squash should develop a hard rind before harvesting. If your thumbnail easily punctures the skin, give it more time. Harvest before a hard frost whenever possible. Herbs are most often flavorful just before flowering. Morning is usually the best time to harvest after the dew has dried, but before the afternoon heat. Regular trimming keeps many herbs producing all season. And of course, don't be afraid to taste. One advantage home gardeners have over commercial farms is freedom. You don't have to guess. Harvest one bean, taste it, pull one carrot, slice one tomato. Your own taste buds are often the best harvest guide. Harvest often. During peak season, your garden changes every day. Walking your garden daily, even for 5 minutes, helps prevent vegetables from becoming oversized or overripe. It also gives you a chance to catch insect problems, diseases, and thirsty plants before they become major issues. Many experienced gardeners carry a small basket every evening. If something is ready, it comes home with them. Gentle harvesting. Remember that vegetables are living plants. Pulling too hard can damage stems. Use scissors or pruners when needed. Support the plant with one hand while harvesting with the other. A little gentleness today often means several more weeks of harvest. Now, your garden doesn't read calendars. Seed packets provide estimates. That's it. estimates. Gardening books give averages, but every season is different. Rainfall, temperature, sunshine, soil health, even the variety you're growing can change harvest dates. Instead of watching the calendar, watch your plants. They're much better at keeping time than we are. One of the greatest joys of gardening is learning to recognize exactly when something is at its very best. That knowledge doesn't come from books alone. It comes from walking your garden, touching the leaves, watching the colors change, learning the rhythm of each plant. The more seasons you garden, the more confident you'll become. Soon you'll know almost instinctively when that tomato is perfect, when those beans need picking, or when that pumpkin is finally ready for the porch. So don't worry about getting everything exactly right. Nature is a wonderful teacher. Every harvest makes you a better gardener. Thank you for joining us today at the Garden Gate. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who's growing their first garden this year. We all started somewhere, and sometimes the most helpful advice is simply knowing when it's time to pick what you've worked so hard to grow. Until next time, keep your basket close, keep your hands in the soil, keep learning from your garden, and remember, the best harvests aren't just measured by what's on your table. They're measured by what you've learned along the way.